All right, Saisla, it's my absolute pleasure to be with Sean Wilkinson today from Connected Lane, and he's going to share all sorts of information about his programming with us. So thank you so much, Sean, for joining us today.
Absolutely.
Do you want to tell us a little bit about who you are and what your role is at your organization? Like, how long have you worked there? How did you get involved, etc.?
Of course. So I'm Sean Wilkinson. I work with Connected Lane County. I work for the WIOA program. It's the Workforce Innovation Opportunity Act. And we have, Connected Lane County, we have several different branches. I'm a tiny little fraction of them, but we focus on providing youth and students with hands-on learning opportunities, ways to get into their interests, explore career fields, help get them connections that they need to be successful. I am brand new to Oregon and to the company, so I've been there about 4 months now. I forgot what else you asked me. So yeah, I've been there for about 4 months and working hard to introduce our programming out to the coast. We've typically been in Eugene and Springfield, but we've got more funding to expand throughout Lane County. So now we are trying to build bridges and create access for the youth in this area.
Awesome. And so you're making inroads and connections with our counselors, with Angela Apodaca with the Youth Transition Program, and then trying to make inroads and connections through our libraries. So we super appreciate you. Do you want to say a little bit more? I feel like you kind of covered it somewhat, but is there anything else you want to add about the mission for Connected Lane?
Yeah, so we're just focused on providing opportunities to youth, especially underserved youth who haven't necessarily had the easiest paths to creating opportunities, to building experience, hands-on experience, whether that's touring different businesses, job shadows, work placements, anything of that nature, just providing them hands-on experience to build their skills and help pique their interest in STEM related aspirations or anything involved with education.
Awesome. I love that you mentioned STEM because our library celebrates STEAM, science, technology, engineering, art, and math. And the engineering design process, we have makerspace stations every single week, a myriad of them in every single library. And so we're trying to build inroads with STEAM curriculum. So it's amazing to connect with you in that way as well. Kind of a tangent of a question, but we ask all of our partnering organizations, how has COVID and the global pandemic impacted your organization and your mission? Like, did you all have to get super creative the last year or two?
We have definitely had to get creative, yeah, especially, I mean, as has everybody, but moving a lot virtually. So we're doing a lot of job shadows virtually, so you can watch on your computer or watch on your phone as best as possible. It really stinks not having youth in the building, working with them hands-on, because that's all of our passion, is to be able to provide opportunities. And being forced to hide behind the screen has been tough, but we've been doing the best that we can, and thankfully we've had some opportunity to have students and youth back in our buildings and be able to work with them face to face, which has been extremely nice.
Yeah, I feel like a silver lining of the pandemic was just the fact that everyone now knows how to connect online, whereas before that, not everyone knew how to hop on Zoom or a Google Meet. And it actually allows, especially for some of our students who are somewhat isolated sometimes on the coast in rural Oregon, it allows us, again, to like reach outside of our community through a Chromebook.
Exactly.
So, I think ideally we would rather be in person to experience things, but definitely we've all had to learn to pivot, and there's been benefit to that.
We do not need to worry about transportation when it's just internet and
exactly, and transportation is expensive.
Exactly.
Like if you're a teacher or a staff member trying to coordinate a visit or a trip, like that's oftentimes where you get hung up, is like the transportation and the expense of it. So in looking at your website, you have so many different program offerings. So I'm going to ask you to share a little bit about each one to the best of your knowledge, but there's Elevate, there's Lane STEM, there's Summer Learning, and then there's the WIOA, which is you're a case manager for the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act. And then there's also a Spark Lab. So that's like a bunch of awesome that in different capacities, SciUSLA students have access. Some of it might be virtually. But do you want to say a little bit about each one of those? Like, what is Elevate in general?
Elevate targets students to help them get an idea of the industries around us, help connect them with business partners in your community, kind of take what you're working towards and give you a foot in the door, give you some experience, or just allow you to see maybe that's what I would like to do. Say I want to do performing arts. We do tours with the Holt Center, so that way you are allowed to get an inside view of the Holt Center, how the daily workings of that company are, and whether I really like that, this is something worth pursuing, or yeah, not what I was expecting, let's try something different. So at WIOA, we partner a lot with Elevate because they already have such strong connections with our community members.
And
So
last year, sorry to cut you off, one specific SciUSLA Elevate connection was Elevate connected with Angela Apodaca and somehow Hyatt, and so I Hyatt Internet Company.
Yeah.
So that's an example
Yeah,
of
so
connecting
Yes.
community base that we have done last year. Yeah.
Yeah, job shadow. We had a youth be placed at Hayek for an in-person job shadow there, and she loved it. So
That's awesome. How about Lane STEM? What is Lane STEM all about?
Lane STEM and summer learning are somewhat connected. They work together to broaden students' access to STEM field and STEM technologies, STEM research, STEM education. So it also, similar to much of our company, it provides hands-on learning for the youth and for the students so they can expand, broaden their knowledge, broaden their skills. And that focuses on a lot of summer programming at Spark Lab. So Spark Lab, I know you asked, they're sort of our home base to where we all work out of, where we host our events, job shadows, career fairs, those sort of places.
And that's located in Eugene.
That is
correct?
in Eugene,
Yeah.
yes. But a lot of these are virtual, so you don't need to make that trip. But that is an awesome way to create and to do a lot of different STEM related projects. I know they recently had a stop motion seminar,
Awesome.
a workshop, how you learn how to make stop motion with little claymation type videos. And there's a lot of awesome technology that I have no idea how to work it, but it is amazing what the youth have been able to accomplish and what they've been able to create there.
I love that Spark Lab. So it's like really one big, huge makerspace lab
Yes.
with lots of options and lots of equipment. Sean and I were just talking before we started the recording just about how our libraries are makerspace centric, and we're trying to create inroads and tie-ins with our CTE career and technical education programs. And all of our weekly makerspace kits, however seemingly simplistic they may look or appear to be, they are all actually celebrating the engineering design process and STEAM. So thank you for sharing about the Spark Lab. And do you want to tell us, I always love asking this question, so is there anything else about the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act that you would like to share with us? And also, what does a day in the life of your job look like? I love
Yeah,
asking that question.
Of course.
Yeah.
So WIOA, it's Workforce Innovation Opportunity Act. We shorten it down to WIOA, so it's not a mouthful to say every time. It's easier, rolls off the tongue. We take aspects of Elevate and make it more hands-on, so more individualized towards the youth, towards the student that we're working with. So we will take each student that we work with and focus on 4 different aspects. We do education, so if you're in high school, great. What comes next? Whether you want to go to college, vocational school, explore the career field, we will look at what kind of education you need and help you through that process, whether that's applying for college, getting you in, applying for FAFSA, exploring different scholarships and grants. Any way to make life easier in that regard, we help you. We'll sit down with you, since we have all been there and done that, and it is very difficult. So we try to make it as easy for you. If education is not your thing and you want to go straight to the workforce, we partner with a lot of different places around the community. We take your long-term goals, and then we look towards placing you in a job placement, a work experience, to where you get the hands-on knowledge and the hands-on experience that you need to explore this field, while also you get paid for it. And then that would be through us. Also, we can help you through like working on your resume, helping you build your skills that way. We also offer financial literacy classes and a basic adult mentorship, helping you through the health insurance process, whether you're on your parents, whether you want your own, all sorts of things that come with becoming an adult.
I was gonna say, adulting is hard, friends. I mean, the struggle is real.
Yes,
so.
I found out firsthand, and we are here to help as
I
best
love
as
the
we can.
I love the financial assistance. One thing that school libraries are supposed to celebrate and champion is that financial literacy piece, and I always feel like I don't do a great job of it. So
I missed out on that in high school, and I learned the hard way. So it's always nice. We do offer a course with Dev Northwest. I highly recommend that. Or you can take, if you'll be working with me or some of my coworkers, we will work with you one-on-one, but we always stress Dev Northwest, they know what they're doing. They're pros.
Okay.
We are just adults. We are not quite pros. So
you're adults helping with
yes.
the adulting. Yes.
Yes.
Was there a final piece to that? So it was education, work placement, financial literacy,
And then adult mentoring.
adult mentoring.
That would be behavior, like working with healthcare, other things of that nature. Like I'm helping a student get a license today. So,
Okay, that's
yeah,
amazing.
a little bit of everything. Whether you're missing some important documents, we can help you find those, get new ones, anything of that nature.
What an amazing program. So they can cater to your needs and hook you up with job shadowing in the community. They can help with that financial adulting end of all the things. Like, you are just amazing. You're
Yes.
just helping our students grow into amazing human beings after high school. Awesome. So my final question I usually ask people is, are there any kind of volunteer or apprenticeship opportunities? I feel like we kind of already talked about that, but is there any volunteer type opportunities or anything else that you think we should know about your organization?
The volunteer, I'm not 100% sure on the top of my head, but I know that we work with the same youth throughout like years of programming. So they'll join for one summer learning. They'll love it. They'll find ways to keep coming back and keep doing more internships. Maybe set you up with like Invention Lab is something that we're doing now with students that have already been through some of our programming, really felt pulled towards this sort of thing, and they want to pursue it even further. So we just kind of take steps up and improve and increase the difficulty. And
so a student can be in your program for multiple years. What's the youngest they can be to sign up?
So for WIOA, it would be working age, so 15 through, and then we go up to 26 years old. But through Connected Link County, we do programs for all ages, so middle school, high school. But we focus more on education and employment through students that are in school or students that are not in school, and helping them get back on track.
Okay, and then if anyone is interested and they want to learn more, what's the best way to connect you? Like through the school system, through Angela Apodaca?
I will leave a flyer here that has my contact information. Either texting or email would be best. I'm pretty quick to respond.
Okay, well, we will definitely have literature available in our library systems. You can see Mrs. Osbon, the high school counselor. And you can also at the high school touch base with Angela Apodaca, and she could link you up as well. Any other final closing comments?
That is all.
Okay, thank you so much for spending time with us today. Bye.
Bye.